Hey everybody, welcome to the Stock Car Spectacle. I'm Ian Jortson,
I'm Tom Hoblin.
and we got our great friend Matt joining the show. Matt, how you doing, buddy? It's good to have you on the show for once. I've known you for some months now. We met at a Bear game a while back, and been kicking it, watching some racing. Man, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for getting me on. It's really nice to be talking about NASCAR with some people. I've been waiting for this opportunity for like 10 years, and I'm finally glad to have met some of my own brethren.
Hell yeah, man! It's a rare breed out here in the Chicagoland area, but there's very few of us. But we found each other. How about that?
Hey, we found each other, but there will be more, I think, with the street course race gaining a lot of popularity.
Oh yeah, it already started it last year. The new Netflix show is gaining more fans too. So yeah, NASCAR is on the come up. Pretty cool to see. But Matt, tell us how'd you get into NASCAR, and who are your drivers you root for, and who do you just despise?
Well, oh, this will be fun. So yeah, growing up, I got into NASCAR. My dad, he wasn't obsessed. He wasn't like big into NASCAR like I am and like you guys are. But when the race was on, he was a Jeff Gordon fan. So I grew up watching that, and I remember, I think it was in 2007 when Gordon had like 6 wins and was like second in points to Jimmy Johnson. That's when I began to really get into it. So I began to watch a lot of the races. I remember I was a big Jeff Gordon fan as a kid. I really wanted to get the chance to meet him. I never did, unfortunately.
Hey, there's still time. There's still time.
There's
Oh,
still
yeah.
time.
I met him last year at Auto Club Speedway. Man, never say never. He's still alive.
He's still alive. I wanted to meet, let me clarify. I wanted to meet him as a driver, though. But to meet him,
Yeah.
whether whether he'd be working for Fox or whether he'd be on the pit grounds for HMS, I'd love to meet the guy. He was my idol growing up. So I got into him, and he retired almost a decade ago, which is, it's hard to believe that it's already been a decade. That's time flies. But I've watched racing since. I've really fell in love with it throughout the years, and I wouldn't necessarily say currently I have a favorite driver. I like a lot of the underdogs, though. Like, I like Suarez. Suarez is a big underdog. Busher is another one. I will cheer for Busher when he's up front there.
Hell yeah.
Um, Bad Brad. I guess you'd throw him in the underdog category
As
now.
of late, yeah, I guess.
yeah.
As of now, yeah. I mean, I
Yes.
know he's made the playoffs and he's looking pretty good, but he still hasn't won at RFK yet, so I'd throw him in the underdog category. I mean, there are some drivers though that I just, like you said, I despise. I'm not a Ross boy. Ross is kind of,
It's fine.
he's. I know he's a great driver, but there's a better way to go about passing people than putting the bumper to them, unless it's the last lap. If it's the last lap, I get it, but better ways to go about it, throughout the course of the race.
Like lap 25 at Gateway with Denny
Uh,
Hamlin. That happened
yeah.
right in front of me, Patrick, and no, Patrick wasn't there. Me, Dalton, and Nick were at that race. And
Well,
Ross moved him right in front of us, and I looked right at Nick because he's the Denny guy, and he was like, "Oh shit, here we go." And then the whole race, man, it was so entertaining because Denny was just going after him the whole time, trying to run him down the track. But yeah, what a
uh,
way to make a name for yourself in your first time in a real cup car.
yeah, and honestly, I was thinking to myself, because Ross wrecked Chase later that race, and I was thinking to myself, this is the first time I feel Denny and Chase have really been on the same page as one another in their entirety.
They were both going after that one car.
Yeah, they were. So I've never really been a Chastain guy. I've never.
But hold on, you say you're for the underdogs. Chastain, you could argue, is the ultimate underdog.
I was.
He had to scratch and claw his way to get to the point where he is now,
That.
and like he's got that He's got that fighting mentality. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here, man. He's got that
Hey,
fighting mentality. He knows what he has to do because he may not get these opportunities again. So he's got to move people out of the way when he thinks he's faster than them and whatnot.
I
So like there's their underdog argument for Ross Chastain.
there is an underdog. I will say before he joined Trackhouse, before he kind
Mhm.
of got, because let's be real, he kind of got the aggressive mentality handed more to him when he joined Trackhouse and he was running up front. I mean, Justin Marks, I saw a podcast on Dale Jr. Download once. He said it, Ross is now entered a chat that he has not been invited into. He's not
Yeah,
welcomed in it.
yeah.
And, I get it. He's got to do whatever it takes, but you know, unfortunately, he doesn't have to. I was a big fan of him. I was happy. I remember I was happy when he won at Coda back in 22. I I was okay with that move he pulled on the last lap. It was kind of eye for an eye
Mm.
with him and AJ. I know AJ will disagree on that, but you know, that was then he, with him and Denny and then with him and Chase, and it was just like all this stuff was like, man, I know you got an aggressive mentality to you, but come on.
And
You're
he's
in the
he's really cooled off with that though. I mean,
he
he's
He
has
not
cooled
driving
has,
like
off.
he
He
was the
yeah.
has.
beginning of last. Like this time last year, all we could talk about was Ross, Ross, Ross,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
now you see him running second. You're like kind of wishing he puts the bumper to somebody just to see something. But
well, yeah,
He
or
does make it entertaining, I will say that. But if it happens to your driver, complete fucking
mm,
bullshit, man.
mm-mm,
yeah,
mm-mm.
yeah, that's any Ross fans would, argue with that about William Byron a couple weeks ago at Texas. Uh, but
Well, I mean,
yeah,
if he's got it coming to him, if he's going to race like that, it's going to take a long time for these guys to cool off. We know he hasn't been doing it
yeah,
recently, but
well,
still, people have that mentality that Ross is going to run through you, so it's okay to run through him.
yeah, yeah, no, I think Denny kind of opened up about that. Denny, and I think him and Denny are on, at least for now, at
Yeah.
least for now, they're on good terms. But with how Denny can be, that may change. I've never really hated Denny. I know he's been kind of a big talking point on here, but never really had anything against him personally. Um,
Oh,
I'm
I love
was
that. I used to hate Denny Hamlin, but he's grown on me over the years, and
yeah,
man, I got his notifications on for Twitter. I just love what he has to say on there.
yeah,
I
He's the
always watch Actions
personality.
Detrimental.
He's the personality NASCAR needs.
Yep.
he
We need
is.
more people like Denny.
He has become the newest Jeff Byrne, I would say, because Jeff Byrne was the mayor back then, and Denny Hamlin kind of has that mentality now of the mayor. He's the veteran. He knows a lot about the sport.
He's gonna
I
say
know
how it is.
yeah, he says it
He ain't
how it
gonna
is.
sugarcoat it for you.
And
No,
he's got double perspective as a driver and as an owner. So
Yeah.
yeah,
he's just a great resource for all us fans. And the fact that he's so transparent about anything is why I think he's become more popular. Yes, you have the Denny Hamlin haters and whatnot, but the haters also boost the popularity too.
oh yeah,
So you have these people following him because he's giving out good information and he's winning races. But then you have all these haters on the other side. That's just it's this self-feeding fire almost.
it's the Patrick Koto cycle, as I'd like to say it, because Pat is that exact same fit with him being a Chase fan.
Yeah.
I will say one driver though that I don't think we did talk about, one that I absolutely cannot stand and I've hated since he's been in Xfinity is Cindric.
Yeah.
Cindric is one that kind of has just grown on me the wrong way. Um, I mean, he kind of was like, I don't know. He kept wrecking, first of all. He brought out a lot of cautions. He still does nowadays
He hasn't
in
done
Cup.
much since that Daytona 500 win. He hasn't
No,
backed it up at all, man. His
it's hard to hate him when he's not showing up to the
yeah.
to race.
Yeah,
So
It's
honestly, I hated him in his Xfinity days, but nowadays I'm like, is he even still
but again,
around?
if he's not your favorite driver, you're gonna hate him because he won all the time. Now he's not doing anything. I barely think about Austin Cindric other than the fact that he races for
he
Penske and he races for his dad. So like,
Yep.
that's the
That's why he's got the
mentality.
red.
That's why he does, but I personally don't like his mentality. I think he's kind of got a rich kid mentality
yeah,
too, because, his dad is being Tim Cindric kind of got him up there. It's kind of like, I get it, you had a lot handed to you, but it's just like, why, and I never really, like you said, in Xfinity kind of just grew on me the wrong way. He did run over a few people sometimes. I remember Harrison was my favorite driver in Xfinity when he was racing at Gibbs.
Yeah.
Um,
I liked it when Noah connected with his face and brought
oh,
him down.
I remember that night. I do remember that night. Yeah, yeah. Cindric's another one. Ty Gibbs is another one too. But we did talk about it before. Gibbs is kind of lined up. Like you just said, Tom. He hasn't done much in Cup so
No,
far, but
no,
he's going
he's
to.
kept his head down and he's performed and he's right on the brink. We say it all the time, week in and week out on this show that all last year for his rookie year, Ty Gibbs needed to keep his head down after all the turmoil he caused in the Xfinity Series. He did that. He finished very well. He finished a lot of races, which is just good for a rookie to get that experience. And then this year, he's slowly building upon what he had last year, and he's running up front and he's learning. He still doesn't quite understand how to finish a race in the Cup Series yet, but he's getting there. He's right there. And Ian and I both think we've talked about multiple times through that this season already. We think he's going to pop off, and once he gets one, he's going to get two, three, four.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
yeah,
gonna be
no
scary.
doubt. He'll be like the next Kyle Busch. Um, Kyle Busch will
My
definitely.
boy's not gone yet, though.
Yeah, the big boy, he's
Let's
not
not push
gone yet.
Kyle off the ledge quite yet. I still want to hang on. This weekend gave me hope.
This weekend, you are a Hawkeye in this situation here, my friend. You see him finish top five, he's like, please don't give me too much hope. But I sympathize with the Kyle Busch fans right now because he kind of, you know, I thought with RCR, with how he was running last year, he'd be doing pretty good. And then, he exited the playoffs early and now he's kind of, I wouldn't say he's bad, but for
The
Kyle
team
Busch,
RCR just they can't
RCR
build
is
a car
bad.
that's worth a damn at any track.
And two things Kyle needs is good teammates and practice, and we have none of those.
yeah,
None of that. And so Kyle needs seat time. Kyle started declining as soon as they made the bushwhacking rule,
yeah,
um,
yeah,
which
It's
could be
true.
a conversation for another day. But
yeah.
he
He
was
hasn't
setting the
run
world.
any Xfinity races this year, has he?
I
No,
don't think so. But he was setting the world on fire. And as soon as they said, "Hey, you can't go race there anymore. You're stinking up the show," um, and made the bushwhacking rule.
yeah.
We've seen Kyle have a slow decline. Obviously, he still
Mm.
won in 2019, but
Yeah, he's
it's been a tough year and a half for Kyle Busch fans, even
I,
with the 3 wins last year.
it has because that was an early playoff exit, and I will be honest with you, though I don't really care for Austin Hill. I personally think he is very deserving, much more deserving of being in that three car than Austin Dillon is. I think,
It's because he's
uh,
got talent.
yeah,
Yeah, well,
he's got
if we got some
talent.
charters for sales and we figure out the charter thing, maybe we'll see Austin Hill in the 33 car next year.
I
You
would
never
love to
know.
see it. Kyle needs a good teammate, and I
We
feel
need a
like
good teammate. We need more
Austin Hill can
teammates.
learn off of Kyle Busch, and Kyle Busch can even learn off of Austin Hill too, because Austin Hill is new to this car. Kyle Busch has been through what, three
Yeah.
different generations of race cars, and I'm sure it's still just really hard to get a hold of this thing. So
hmm
it'll
I
be
mean,
really
Yeah,
good to
Yeah,
talk to a
Kyle
young
ran
buck.
Gen 4, Gen 5, Gen 6, and now Gen 7. So
Yeah,
he
yeah.
four
is
generations of
he is
cars.
the
That's
KG
insane.
veteran. Yeah.
Yep.
hmm Yeah, because I think, you know, fortunately with RCR right now, I still say this to this day, they haven't fully, in my opinion, they're not their Bush, Xfinity Series program has recovered because Austin Hill has been insane in that car. But for Cup, I kind of feel like they still haven't recovered from Harvick leaving, which was over a decade ago.
Yep.
So,
Totally agree. And I'm so glad that Kevin left that team. I will always rep 29. Love that car till the day I die. But man, oh man, that was the best decision he ever made. Because what he do the first years with Stuart Haas? Won a goddamn championship. And
yeah, right
almost
now.
backed it up in 2015 until some guy decided to steal it with only running half the year. So
Well,
I'm I'm
He won
It's
5
like-
races.
I'm just giving you
He
shit. That
won
was
5
I'm
races.
I will say this till the day I die. Kyle Busch winning the 2015 championship is one of the most miraculous things that'll ever happen in
It's
NASCAR.
one of the greatest NASCAR performances
Yep.
ever.
That's
Yep.
a great
And it
comeback.
was
That is a comeback
absolutely
story.
insane.
And it's
And
like,
it was and Jeff
it's
Gordon
not like
making
he
the
was out.
championship for as well.
Yeah, and it's not like he was out snowboarding or something. He was racing
Yeah.
in NASCAR. So like, I don't know. And now that he backed it up in 2019, like all those Mickey Mouse ears you can take off your Mickey Mouse ears. You guys can settle down. It's a
Yep.
2-time champion. Call him a 1.5-time champion. You can't take it away from me. You
This
can't.
is a
Damn straight.
Patrick Cotto safe zone for tonight. So we get to we get to dunk on Chase Elliott all we can
We get to do
tonight.
the
With,
Mickey Mouse shit. Yep.
yep, just put the Mickey Mouse stuff on and just accuse and just try and convict Chase of murder for attempted murder on Denny last year. So
There you go.
justice
Alright.
for Denny.
Just as Nick is coming in.
Speaking of which,
Wonderful.
I am gonna love this.
Nick, look who's on.
Ah,
What's up, buddy?
what's up, man?
Look at this man here. He is
Got the victory
is-
shirt on.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Ready to,
Those
ready
the
to
Mavis
go.
tires.
Yo, fuck that.
All we really need in the background is a Daniel Hemrick cap or diecast or something to cap off the day. That's all we need in the background right now. Uh-oh.
I
What
got
do
a
what do
whole
we
wall for you
Oh,
right there, brother.
jeez.
Better hang a yellow flag on that wall too for how much that saved Hemrick's race.
Hey, man. Sometimes you got to be lucky. What can I
Oh,
say?
exactly. I mean, that caution saved us too, because
Hey,
we didn't
save the 10 team too.
we didn't have the car full of fuel yet. He had to pit again.
But guys, well, Nick's here. We haven't even started our diecast of the week. We were having fun talking. We were having fun talking. So, Matt, what'd you bring for us today for your diecast of the week, buddy?
I unfortunately brought the air as my die. Just messing. Unfortunately, I don't have a diecast on me. This is what I really need to rebrand my NASCAR memorabilia and start saving up my money a bit more once I get past these stupid student loans that I have to deal with right now, which I'm sure some of you can understand the struggle. I'm sure you guys can relate, but I mean, I will be honest though. I did look this up actually. I follow this guy on Instagram. I'm not sure if you know who he is. His name is Scener Diecast. He makes his own car diecast. And this one here, I don't know if you can see it, but this is from last year's. I believe it's the Darlington throwback race. This is a Justin Haley
Oh,
31 Tide scheme.
we love Justin Haley on this show.
This guy's really trying to light the fireworks tonight.
Oh, what did I say? Oh boy. But I say what you want about Justin Haley, the driver. He's kind of forgettable, unfortunately. He's had a decent year, I think, in Rick Ware racing, which
Best driver in Rick Ware history.
Yeah.
What do you want, a fucking trophy for that?
Maybe.
Maybe. But you say what you want about Haley as a driver, but there's no denying that paint scheme perfect. That paint scheme that was like that was a Ricky Craven throwback.
Something about the Tide orange and blue just looks good on a race car no matter how you slap it on there. I think I'm running a Tide car on my Cup car in iRacing right now.
Hey,
No matter how you put it, there you go.
I found somebody had a Toyota one for iRacing, and I was like, "Thank you very much. I'll run a Tide ride for sure."
Sweet. All right, Nick, what'd you bring to the table today?
Well, we had a winner this past week in Dover, Mr. Denny Hamlin. I only have 2 Denny Hamlin cars in my collection, both courtesy to you, Ian. So I played the other Denny scheme a few weeks ago when we won Bristol or whatever. So the only other one I have is the rookie scheme.
Hey,
back when it was the Chevy
Hey.
Monte Carlos.
Oh,
Hey,
nice.
hey.
look at that. That's not what I'm bringing, but I love the old Gen Ford car and the Joe Gibbs, and I mean Denny came in that year unlike any other rookie I'd ever seen, setting the world on fire. That's why I
Yes, he
personally
did.
went out and got that
Yeah.
car.
Yeah.
Beautiful
So
scheme.
it is.
And
It's
then,
simple,
hey,
but
man.
it gets the job done for sure.
Hey, he loves to win. So what can I say? He loves
Yeah,
to
he
win.
does. Hey, he called it for
Always-
Dover too.
Dude, he
Oh.
said it on his podcast. He's like, I'm gonna win. I'll see you next week when I win Dover. And
Yep. Dude, it's
He-
the great
he-
Hambino.
he did.
Denny, outside of the championship 4 race, Denny should just be a sorcerer. That's if he's able to predict race wins, predict everything. He'll do everything except win a championship, which
He will be. He'll be the greatest driver. He'll be one of the best to not win a title. I don't think he'll do it. I still don't think
You
he'll do
don't
it.
think he'll do it? Wow.
Well,
Something
he is
something
the
always goes
greatest to
wrong.
do it already because he's already surpassed Mark Martin in wins. So
Yeah.
and he
Yeah.
is
He hit 12th on the all-time wins list
That
yeah,
he
with
is.
this win. 12th alone.
man. It's just
Yes,
one race. All he needs is just one good Phoenix race.
Yep.
I will say this: over the past few years, as in this format, I would take like 8 or 9 race wins over a title in today's NASCAR. I would have to say that.
As long as he keeps going to the championship 4, you can't doubt him.
No.
And you can't deny him one of the greatest of all time. Maybe not a Mount Rushmore driver, but he's in the wings for Mount Rushmore for sure. But we're gonna start the way these championships run out. Championships are gonna mean almost as much as even making it to the championship 4.
Right. I mean,
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
yeah.
Yep. Totally agreed. So Tom, what you got for us, buddy?
All right. You guys set me up quite nicely in our little intro here.
Boy.
Over the winter, I finally got my hands on my Holy Grail diecast, and I thought now's as good a time as any. I had it pulled out. I had it sit in my lap as we were talking about it. But this is my 2015 Homestead win.
Ooh.
Signed
Oh.
Kyle Busch with all the confetti on it. I paid way too much money for it. I blame this show for making me spend an ungodly amount of money on a toy car that until now has sat in a case for the past 6 months. But I love all the details on it. This night brings back such good memories. I mean, like we said, not a lot of NASCAR fans around, especially young people. And when I'm in college, like Kyle Busch is winning this championship and I have nobody to share it with. And it's shows like this. Like obviously I wasn't watching your show. This show may not have even existed back in 2015, but
Nope.
I was following NASCAR, and my NASCAR friends were the NASCAR YouTubers that were keeping me in the loop. So
yeah.
just lots of good memories, and to get our first championship after, like we said, such a tumultuous year for Kyle, and cheering for Kyle all my life. Like it was just, this is a great car, and I knew I had to have it. I regret not buying it when it came out, but I didn't know that diecast could increase in value so much. But yeah, this is DIN number 67. I think there are only 345 made, so
Nice.
it's a solid one. And then I got this, people on Etsy, they sell these little like flags on a toothpick, so you can get like checkered flags and stuff. So I bought one for
Oh, that's
this car
sweet.
as well. So it's my championship diecast, my little baby.
Hell yeah. All right, guys. So for my diecast of the week, we're going to Kansas Speedway. So I had to
You
probably
gotta
bust
pull that
out.
one.
Oh yeah, one of
Oh,
my
yeah.
favorite
Oh,
Kansas
yeah.
wins when Bubba Wallace got his second Cup Series win with Root on there. Weird, he was driving the 45 as well because that was the year Kurt Busch got sidelined with concussion. Ty
Mhm.
Gibbs switched to 23 because Bubba was gonna do the owner's points, but pretty badass paint scheme. It was on the anniversary of 9/11. Did the red, white, and blue on there. It looks beautiful on there. And
It's a good car.
it's just nice to have hands on a Bubba Wallace race win diecast. I hope we get another one this weekend.
Oh, you're calling that early. All right.
Good. Okay, it is going to be either a
Tune in
2311
tune in
car or
next
Denny
episode.
Hamlin, man.
Tune in next episode for
Making my picks right now.
Ian to pick Bubba Wallace, I guess.
Ian channeling his Denny Hamlin from last week and trying to be a goddamn sorcerer on
Yeah,
this
he's
show again.
Calling a shot.
He's calling the shots. Oh boy. I will second that with Ian though. It's going to be either we can congratulate 2311 on their win, because if Reddick or Bubba doesn't win, then Denny will probably
It's
win.
going to be the owner. Yeah.
Yep, it's going to be Denny. So well, 2311
man.
wins automatic.
There
You guys
go.
are gonna have to drag me out of that grandstand on Sunday. If that's what goes down.
Not leaving. I'm not leaving.
I'm not fucking leaving. Oh man, I mean, with the speed that Noah's had lately, if he keeps it up at Kansas, you're
Oh,
yeah,
God.
dude. I'm gonna climb my way into victory lane.
Well, that may be asking a little bit too much for Stuart Haas Racing, buddy, but I love
Hey
the
man,
optimism.
top 5 last week, fucking top 10 this week. He's on a roll, man. Let's go. Let's keep it going. But guys, let's get into our top stories. Some Darlington throwback schemes were introduced today. Alex Bowman's going to be running a Jimmy Johnson throwback to the Lowe's car. Brad Keselowski's running a throwback to the iconic Castrol Supra, which is hilarious, throwing it back to a Toyota. I know Tom loves that. And Kyle Larson, he is running that beautiful Terry Labonte Kellogg's throwback paint scheme. They did a knockout job with that one. Looks exactly how it used to be. It was just amazing. I'm already excited for the throwback race this year.
Listen,
Yeah,
all of the
Hen-
Hendricks throwbacks are just perfect. I cannot wait to see. Hopefully we get a classic Rainbow Warrior or something for the 24. I mean, it's the 40-year anniversary. As soon as they showed honestly, as soon as they showed the Elliott throwback and how the sponsors are getting on board too, and they're changing the logos and changing the colors. It's really, they're knocking it out of the park, and I hope the 24 is not a dud because they need a perfect set of cars out there.
Yeah, Hendrick definitely takes the cake this year for throwback schemes. Like, there's nothing beating those schemes.
I haven't even seen any other ones. I mean, I saw the Supra one today, but again, that's a Ford throwing back to a Supra. So hey, maybe that'll get Ford their win though. They're like, we're not a Ford. We're a Toyota this week. We could win. And Brad Keselowski will take the Southern 500, I guess.
Just keep in mind, though, I know the Hendrick cars, they've had a lot of great throwback schemes in recent years, and especially this year with so far Bowman, Chase, and Larson. But don't forget, the Trackhouse team, they've also produced some pretty badass paint schemes for throwback over the past couple years as
The
well.
Coca-Cola
those
cars.
Coca-Cola ones were
That Coca-Cola
perfect.
one, those were crisp.
Ooh,
Those
yeah.
were
perfect.
Of course, Ross had to stuff that one into the inside wall and ruin a perfectly good paint scheme.
Yeah, he's good at that.
They'll rewrap it. It's fine. It's not real paint anymore.
Right?
No, it ain't. But the one he ran last year for Dale, I think that was UPS.
Yeah,
that was the Dale
Worldwide
Jarrett.
Which
Express,
also
yeah.
ended up into the wall, right?
Yeah, because that one
I think we're seeing a trend here.
we're seeing a trend here of Ross just taking perfectly good paint schemes and just throwing it right in the fence.
Yeah.
Oh, and may I say, they also announced the Christopher Bell Darlington paint scheme today. And shame on you, Joe Gibbs Racing.
Yeah.
They threw it back to 100 years of DeWalt and made the exact same DeWalt. It's not a throwback to any NASCAR paint scheme that I've ever seen. It's just a new DeWalt paint scheme. Shame on you, Joe Gibbs Racing. Awful. You're gonna let Hendrick Motorsports drop 3 bangers, and you'll be like, "But look at this brand new, never before seen DeWalt scheme." Ooh, no.
Yeah.
I have words that aren't appropriate for children.
So many teams have done that. We're like, we're gonna debut this like random paint scheme.
Christopher Bell has done that for like 3 years now.
Yeah, Kurt Busch has done it a few times. Like it's,
Dude,
I don't get it.
I know it would be so difficult to do, but I think it should be mandatory that every team has to run a throwback scheme for Darlington. That's how it should be.
It's all about the cheddar. It's all about the cheddar.
Yeah.
Money talks, and it's honestly dumbfounding that 300 cars have been able to move their sponsors around in such a way, and whatnot. But yeah, it's all about the money. If DeWalt doesn't want to throw back, DeWalt wants to market themselves. They're the ones paying for that car to be on the track. So unfortunately, it'd be fun to mandate it, but also it's very difficult to do.
I will say though, Tom, the Joe Gibbs stable too in past years has not really been committed to anything in terms of a throwback scheme. I mean, Truex, when he won at Darlington back in 21, that was his usual paint scheme that he runs. I think Kyle Busch had
Kyle Busch last year threw it back to 2 months before. So
he threw it back 2 months.
They didn't have
before.
anything planned. So it's what the sponsors want to do, and ultimately, and it's fun for us to look back. But also, if everybody's doing it, then it's not as special. It's one of those things.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's very true.
So
that is
so
true.
like if you can't have a banger every year, you can't, or else
No.
it loses its meaning.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And there's only so many paint schemes that you can actually throw it back to before it kind of is like, got to recycle it over again.
We start turning to that truck series race where Camping World sponsored every other truck.
That was insane. The
That's
whole Marcus
that's a
Lemonis
diecast
era.
pack. That's a diecast pack that Lionel should release. They're like all the Camping World trucks from Las Vegas.
No,
Like
no. I
15 trucks.
think you mean the ARCA trucks, because with how the truck series has been run over the
Mhm.
past few months, you would think the ARCA drivers have been replacing the truck series drivers in those cars.
Yeah, well, basically.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. So moving on, it was announced Kevin Harvick is going to be driving the 5 in practice and qualifying for Kyle Larson for the All-Star race weekend. Larson will be out in Indy doing practice and qualifying out there. Really big race for him. So cool to see Kevin Harvick get behind the wheel, even though it won't be a race. And if Kyle Larson doesn't even make it for the All-Star race, Kevin can't even race it because he's not eligible.
It's just a weird move
Yeah.
for me. Like it doesn't make sense. He's not even a Chevy driver. He's not like it.
He's
I-
not even a driver anymore.
Yeah, no, I know, but like I'm so curious as to how this came together and whatnot. Because it couldn't have been their first choice. Like Shane Van Gisbergen is eligible for the All-Star race.
Mhm.
Are they fielding a car for him?
Trackhouse and Colleague both said no.
Yeah,
So he will not be running.
like that doesn't make any sense. He's a Chevy team, put him in the 5 car. Like it just it's cool. Yeah, it'll make headlines, it'll make people tune in, which maybe Fox pulled this deal off somehow. But I just, to me, that one was weird. I almost, when I heard about it, I didn't believe it just because it was one of those that was so out there. I thought it was just Twitter trying to get one over on people. But
It was
whatever.
also
Cool, I guess.
interesting because the last I checked, Kevin Harvick doesn't really have the best of relationships with some of the Hendrick drivers, more in particular Kyle Larson, in my opinion. I mean, I go back to
Chase Elliott.
Chase Elliott at Bristol. I go back
They've
to
actually
Chase
grown
Elliott
on
Bristol.
each other.
Yeah.
I've seen them talking kind of friendly like the past like 2 seasons, and
Well, I mean,
Kevin went out.
He's made so many comments from the booth this year. He goes, "It's amazing how clear your mind is when you're not doing this every week." At one
Yeah.
So, like,
Yeah.
he could have some grudges, and they're all gone now because he's not racing. He's not in the sauce every week.
Yep.
But it's again, it's one of those moves where it's like, how did that happen? Was it the first choice? It can't have been the first. Like, I've just so many questions, and it's just it. Well, I guess All-Star Rake is for gimmicks, so
Yeah.
let's have a gimmick driver for practice, I guess.
I'm all for it.
Into practice. I'm sure you are. Sure you are. Captain last 10 races last year, predicting him to win.
How'd that go?
It's like he's gonna win.
Nada.
He's gonna win this week. I just know it. He's gonna win this week. I just know.
Wait, he went on I need to catch up on this. He went on a big 0 for 10 streak then?
Something like that.
Oh yeah.
It was I was pretty desperate.
Our predictions are sometimes they hit.
Yeah, sometimes they really do hit.
Sometimes they hit, but most of the time they don't hit.
Before the disqualification that happened to him at Talladega, you almost had a prediction right there.
Yeah, I know that
Mhm.
happened to me right in front of my fucking eyes.
In your face. My video is half the last lap is Kevin, just right over my shoulder, Kevin.
Oh man, my throat hurt after that one. But guys, a real wacky one here. Crocs and Busch Beer are joining forces. Ross Chastain's getting a weird paint scheme, and we're getting some Busch Beer Crocs. It's
I'm so sick of this. I'm sick of this. Why can we not just throw a simple Busch like paint scheme out there? I get it, they're doing it for all these marketing reasons, trying to get all this shit out, but I hate it. These schemes, they suck. And I just want let's just bring back the normalcy. A simple beer paint scheme. Why is that so fucking hard to ask for?
Here's your answer to that. Because if they were bringing a simple beer paint scheme, we wouldn't be talking about it right here on this show. So you got us talking. Congrats, Bush Beer. You got us talking about Bush Beer. You got us talking about Crocs. I've never put a Croc on my feet. I could probably count on one hand how many cans of your beer I've drank. So good job. You got me talking about your race car again.
I'm gonna need a couple hands for that.
Hate to say it, but I'm wearing Crocs right now. I got a case of Bush Light in my fridge, so
just I don't know if I just go for something a little bit higher quality than Bush Lights, but again, I guess cool crossover, but I'm not too shook up about it, I guess.
Tom, I second you on that one, my friend. It's like I like the same. I haven't really worn Crocs in a long ass time. I don't know if I ever will. I mean, maybe, but again, like you said, I can't even count on the amount of times on my fingers that I've drank Bush Beer because I haven't drinking any Bush Beer at all. So there's no need for me to count. But this is just such a weird marketing technique for me because it's like you put Bush Beer and Crocs together, and Crocs to me it kind of is marketable for everybody. You know, kids can wear them, adults can wear them. I know you got them on, Ian, right now, and I see you with that Mike's Hard right now. You cracked open a cold one right now. But it's such a weird marketing technique with Crocs and beer. Like, what?
Hey, America, gotta love it.
It just doesn't mix, and it's like there's so many kids that are going to be wearing Crocs.
Hey, you're talking America though. You're putting it on the wrong car then, because that's Daniel Suarez. Congrats to him becoming an American citizen this week.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah, cool. Congrats to him.
No more Mexicans in NASCAR. We're all Americans again. We did it.
Oh, God.
No, but seriously, obviously you can never take. I'm joking. I'm not a racist. Don't worry about it.
Disclaimer.
It's called a joke. Yeah. Put whatever asterisks you want on this episode. I'm getting canceled. It was nice knowing you all. Sign off. No, but it's still cool. I mean, he's done a lot for this sport. He's been here a long time, and it's cool for him to want to join this country and want to be a part of it even more than he already has been. Exactly. Obviously, you're not going to take away his Mexican heritage. We love all the Daniels amigos. And we love how he's expanding the sport too. But that's a cool thing for somebody to go through and actualize into a United States citizen.
And we love those piñata celebrations whenever he wins a race. Yeah, I honestly think I'd take that over the watermelon throw any time.
Really?
That's a bold take.
Yeah.
I know it's an unpopular opinion.
It's not a waste of food.
It is not a waste of food. That's true. I know
throwing candy all over a racetrack.
Yeah, but you're smashing a watermelon, and it's all on the asphalt.
So he still takes a bite out of it.
Yeah, because he's fucked.
That's about how much watermelon one should be eating, anyways. There we go. Another disclaimer. I'm not a fan of watermelon. You guys can cancel me. I'll see you later.
But hey, candy's wrapped too, though. So if it hits the asphalt, I mean, it won't be completely ruined.
Well, unwrap it. Yeah. All right, guys. And last little bit of news. Noah Gregson's running 4 races for Rhett Jones Racing in the Xfinity Series, running Charlotte, Nashville, Michigan, and Darlington. Pretty cool to see for Rhett Jones Racing coming up. It is going to be a Stewart-Haas prepared car, but they're known for running the ARCA Series part-time, and they're a full-time late model team. So really cool to see Noah Gragson helping that team come up and try and be competitive up here. I mean, we know that this guy can bring them to victory lane.
For sure. I mean, like last time he was in an Xfinity car, obviously he was lights out. And again, the last time we saw a Stewart-Haas prepared car race for another team, it won at Sonoma with Eric Almirola. So I think you got a winning combination. You got a Stewart-Haas prepared car. You have a Cup driver who is showing some speed and some good quality driving right now. And you have Noah Gragson, who knows probably still how to wheel those Xfinity cars. Probably as good as anybody. Another great thing about them not changing the Xfinity platform too is these guys can step back into these cars and it'll be comfortable for them even if they've been out of it for a few years.
Yep.
Yeah. As soon as I saw that as news, I was like, "Oh, Ian's going to be excited about this one." Going back to the old stomping grounds of Noah Gregson's kick-ass playground. That's what the Xfinity Series was 2 years ago when he was in it. It was not fun.
But he's got a whole new crop of drivers to race against, and there's some strong guys down there to this day. I mean, we're even seeing some lower teams finish really well. You see the Ryan Siegs and Anthony Alfredo's of the world getting their Dash for Cash wins, and those are no easy feats either. So, obviously not going to be a cakewalk. He's been out of the car for a few years in that series, but I still think he'll be pretty comfortable and be pretty competitive.
Yep.
Go off of that a little bit though, Tom. You said, like you said, that was a Stewart Haas prepared car last year for Almirola at Sonoma. This is the meme. I'm sure you've seen the Patrick Starr meme where he's like one shot, he's like all normal and everything. The next shot, he's like ripped. That is Stewart Haas Racing. The normal Patrick is their Cup Series thing. Xfinity Stewart Haas, that's Rip Patrick because they are. You can say what they want about their Sprint Cup program, but in Xfinity's, they still have it figured out there. I mean, the Custer's
Ford is still struggling.
Yeah.
We still haven't seen Ford win, and maybe Noah can bring that to the table. So maybe not so ripped. Maybe he's in the gym, Patrick.
He's in the gym, Patrick. He's working out. But I will say, a Stewart Haas, I would trust a Stewart Haas prepped Xfinity car to do better more than I would a Stewart Haas Cup car with how we've seen from them. I mean, Cole Custer winning the title in Xfinity last year, Riley Herbst coming on really strong. Herbst has been decent this year. He hasn't put together the finishes, but he's kind of like Brandon Jones, where he's like, he starts good. He runs really good for most of the race, but he's got to learn how to finish these races. But he did break through last year at Vegas and won those, so that's all we can ask for out of someone in that car.
Yeah, Brandon Jones is a lost cause. If we're still saying he needs to figure out how to put races together. Well, he's been in Xfinity for like 8 years now. Yeah, give it up.
We love Brandon Jones here.
Yeah, we're big Brandon. We're big
Brandon
Jones fans.
We love Brandon
big
Jones.
Justin Haley fans. You know, I love them.
All
great guys.
A+ drivers, in your opinion, world class.
Absolutely. But guys, speaking of which, let's get into our Dover review with the Xfinity Series. Brandon Jones, we were just talking shit about him. He won the pole for this race.
And where'd he finish?
Yeah. But some possible momentum for the 9 and the Junior Motorsports team, seeing some speeds in qualifying, but they got to put it together on track.
I mean, it's easier to avoid all the BS when you're out ahead of it. So just got to stay ahead of it now. It's the next step you got to take.
He's got to take that next step because I'm looking right now. I know the playoffs don't start for another few months, but right now, 15 points below the only Junior Motorsports car below the playoff cut line right now. He's gotta step it up a little bit there, son. Those sponsorship deals can't save you for long.
No, they've been saving him his whole career. That's the reason he's still right.
They love him for some goddamn reason. But guys, bad luck. Yeah, the money talks, man. But bad luck continues for Haley Deegan. Just horrible season in her Xfinity Series rookie year. Her and JJ Yaley get together and just tear their cars up real early in this race. So
I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut on this one. I said my Haley Deegan spiel on last show, and it still shows. So
I need to see this.
No, we've said it before. She needs to finish races and work on just being consistent, being better. And she keeps, whether it's her fault or not her fault, she keeps pulling back up in the hauler with a wrecked race car. And that's not going to get you any better. It's not going to get you more experience. So I still think she has potential in racing, but it's the opportunities are going to be harder to come by if she's not even showing us what she can do anymore, if she keeps crashing these cars. And these smaller teams don't want to shell out the money for a wrecked race car, even if she is bringing Monster Energy sponsorship. But
I mean, really, it was last year.
Yeah,
it was last year for me that really did it when she was driving for ThorSport, and all of her ThorSport teammates are up there. And where's Haley Deegan? You got to go to like the second or third page of the running order, and there she is. So I don't know. That's just what it is for me. I mean, you want to see her succeed. It would be really big for the sport to have her succeed, but it's just not clicking. So, like you said, the opportunities just are going to come harder and harder to come by if we're keeping this trend up. So
Yeah, I still think the end of the Talladega race was really telling about where she was and where she is as a driver in the Xfinity series in this landscape, where she starts in the second row on the final restart and finishes 12th. It's just she's not in it mentally yet. She doesn't have
No.
that quite have the right mindset, it seems. And it's tough. It's tough to watch.
Yeah.
It is, and I didn't see the start of the Xfinity race, but from
Neither.
what
I was gonna say. I thought you said the start of the wreck. I was like,
The
neither
s-
did Fox.
Well, are you surprised about that, honestly, with how that's been? But from what I saw in the replay and stuff, it didn't look like, Haley Deegan's off to a rough start, unfortunately. And like what Nick said, I lost a lot of faith in her when she really underperformed in Thor Sport and Truck last year. That was kind of the warning sign. And then her getting up into Xfinity this year to an underfunded team was like, well, this is how it's going to be. And the wreck with Yaley, from what I saw, from no fault of her own, honestly, I believe it was, I forget who the driver was that I think got into Yaley.
Joey Gase.
Joey Gase.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I think JJ Yaley's back bumper cover came off. He should have just picked that up and just give it right to
Was
Joey
it Dawson?
Gase.
I think it was Dawson Cram actually.
Or Dawson Cram. Okay, yeah.
Joey
Okay.
Gase and JJ Yaley both run the 35. It looks like.
Okay, yeah, no, it
point
was.
standings, but
You
Dawson
were
Cram. Yeah, Dawson Cram.
you were right. It was Dawson Cram because I do remember seeing that. I mean, these wrecks
Mhm.
haven't really been anything of Haley Deegan's
No.
fault. She's like a JJ Yaley back when Yaley was in Gibbs. So oh God, Tom, if you can remember those days, I mean, that
Man,
was
he was supposed to be the next big thing.
Throwback, right?
Yeah, that he was supposed to be the next he was Bobby Labonte's replacement at Gibbs. And what did he do? He spun and wrecked every car into the wall every
He
weekend.
gave us Denny Hamlin.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did.
And we've come full circle.
Yeah, I
Yep.
mean, back in 06, the world asked for JJ
Uh-oh.
Yaley. Instead, they got Denny Hamlin. So that's exactly what they got. And I think, Yaley, unfortunately for Haley, none of these wrecks have been her making. She's just been one of those drivers who is a bad luck magnet.
Yeah.
And you
And
have
she's
that
putting
sometimes.
herself in those positions
Yeah,
too.
that's exactly
she's
it.
throwing herself back with the guys who don't know how to race. Who are
Exactly. Yeah.
They're
Here's a
just
fun-
there for a
here's
small
a fun
paycheck, and
stat.
she needs to come up there.
Here's a fun stat. Eric Almirola and Ryan Truex are both ahead of her in points in the Xfinity series.
No fucking way. And what? Almirola's run like 3 races?
She has 121 points. Almirola has 160. Ryan Truex has 150.
Good
Oh
Lord.
my god! Like, yeah, they won races, but
They drive
still,
the
they've
same
only-
car.
Yeah,
They drive the same
it's only
car.
like 2 or 3
Ugh.
races they both ran. Like, oh my
Ugh.
god, yeah, that's rough.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
got to put
Yeah.
herself in a better position, or else she's just gonna keep getting wrecked by dipshits.
The worst
Mhm.
thing is she's run more races than Almirola and Truex have run combined. I just counted. They've run 9 races combined. Haley Deegan has run all 10 races so far, and she's 130, oh no, 100, 39, 29 points back behind them. That's,
Mhm.
Tom, that ain't good. That's
No.
not a good stat line.
Yeah. All right, guys. So Allgaier wins stage 1. Ryan Sieg's car started on fire. That thing
Tough.
was smoking, but he got out of there real fast. He was fine. Good to see.
Jordan
but,
Anderson, Talladega-esque.
Yeah.
dude,
He
Jordan
was
Anderson
climbing out of that
gonna-
car before that thing was stopped. So
Yeah, I
Yeah.
really thought when I saw him getting out of there, I thought he was gonna get crushed in between the car and the wall.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, but glad to see
I
Ryan
know.
Sieg didn't have to make that that bad of a decision.
I
Yeah.
think
I
I'd
know where
rather
that
be.
dash. I know where that dash for cash check's going to now.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly,
Right.
honestly, I think I'd rather be squished between a car and a wall than burned alive. So
Yeah.
I'll take my chances climbing out of the moving race car at Dover where it washes down.
Yep. Yeah.
Woof.
Don't want to turn into the next Anakin Skywalker at this rate.
All right, guys. Cole Custer wins stage 2, second of the season. So good to see for that team. They need some wins. So if he does get that win, he'll be good for the playoffs. We're getting some playoff points. And then we get a caution that comes out for rain. The 00 stays out. Everyone pits.
They told him to
And
pit. They told him to pit.
they told him to pit.
That little jerky move was not him trying to fake anybody out. They told him to pit, and he's like, "Well, shit, I gotta go," and then he couldn't make it.
Yep, couldn't make it.
That's-
So he stayed out, and then they thought, hey, maybe this strategy is going to work out. It's going to be downpouring. Nope, rain was gone in 5 minutes. They were back out racing. They were all pissed off, and Cole Custer wasn't able to compete for this win.
Vortex theory.
Yeah.
Vortex theory, 100%. That radar looked imminent for the last 100 laps of this race, and it showed up a little bit, and it just never stopped. And it was really unfortunate because Cole Custer deserved that win. He was fast. He'd gotten up there. Yeah, that was why. But I'm so glad. Good on NASCAR. Good on NASCAR for not biting the bullet and overreacting too soon. Let him finish it out.
Yeah.
And good job waiting to see what happened. We didn't have to wait for track drivers. We didn't have to wait for all that. They were able to race the distance, and it gave us some really compelling images.
Yeah, this is when the floodgates opened. Man, we had a great battle with Austin Hill and Sheldon Creed racing hard for the win with over 10 laps to go. Hill was giving Creed the bumper. They were side by side. It was great racing. But this led to Carson Kvapil taking the lead from 18 to the 21. That was just so cool to see. This guy, this was his second Xfinity Series race, and he's already competing for a win. Man, oh man, I feel like you got to give him a contract after this year.
I mean, he's top
Two
5
top
at Martinsville,
fives in both of
he's
his races.
Finished his second here.
Yeah.
Could have pulled off the win. And that was just an experience thing. He doesn't know the NASCAR gamesmanships to play on these late race restarts and whatnot. So, but man, it was just some compelling racing.
I think Dale Jr. hit the jackpot here with Carson Kvapil. He's going to have himself. He's going to have himself a prospect in the making, a superstar in the making. We've already seen it.
Dale Jr.'s got the magic touch when he's developing these drivers. I mean, he went out and found Josh Berry. He's found Carson Kvapil. He just and it's his reputation. And he's saying like, "Hey, Tire Pros, give this guy a shot. Hey, Chevy, give this guy a shot. I'll put him in the car and I'll show you what he can do." And these guys are catching their eyes. And again, Barry's running Cup Series now. Like never in his wildest dreams. Like Junior's got the magic touch, and he's got that charm about him that can get these guys into these race cars, and they can perform really well. I mean, Bubba Pollard a couple weeks ago too at Richmond raced really well in these cars. Junior knows how to scout out these talents and whatnot.
I could be wrong, but where did Kvapil start? Did he start 26 in this race? He started pretty far back there, I think.
Let's take a look.
So.
Yeah, 26.
Yeah, 26.
Yeah, he started 26 in this race. In his second race in the Xfinity Series, claws his way through the field. This kid is talented, and he's going to be. He should be in this seat a lot more than he is, and I'm looking forward to see how he progresses going forward.
He's tearing it up in the Cars Tour now too, and I really think at the end of this season he's going to have a decision to make to want to make the jump into Xfinity or stay running for Junior Motorsports at the Cars Tour.
Here's the thing: if I'm going to say this to Junior, if Brandon Jones and Sammy Smith continue to keep underperforming in these cars, in particular Brandon Jones, I don't care how much money Brandon Jones's dad is giving you to put him in this car.
Dale Jr. does.
Yeah, Dale Jr. does, but we know what Brandon Jones is. He's no scrub. He can race, but I don't really foresee him really staying in Junior Motorsports for too long unless, something happens. But I think if you're Dale Jr., you got to look at getting this kid Carson Kvapil in, because I love what I'm seeing from him so far. He knows, he's clearly got a knack for it. I think his dad, Travis Kvapil, former NASCAR driver, really got him going in the right direction here.
Tom thought he was dead.
I texted Ian during the race right after they showed that shot of Travis in the stands. I was like, I thought he was dead. I thought that was part of like Carson's story. He's like, hey, he's coming back from his dad died. Like, nope, I guess not. I was very wrong. Travis, no way you're watching this, but sorry if you're watching this. I thought you're dead.
It's the Mandela effect. Something happened.
Cup Series GOAT Travis Kvapil. I think he drove one of those burger King schemes that when Burger King wasn't even sponsoring the
Oh
car
yeah.
back in the old
Yeah.
83 days.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Amazing. But yeah, back to all of that. It's unfortunate that in today's day of NASCAR, it's money over talent because, yeah, Brandon Jones should not have a ride right now. But it's Menard's money, and Dale Jr.
Yep.
is going to take that money over
Mhm.
anything, and that's just how it goes. And Sammy Smith's bringing in another massive sponsorship with Pilot. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's tough, but it's just the way it goes.
I mean, it's the
Quattro
balance of the
definitely deserves a
business.
shot.
It's the balance of the business, and if you have enough overhead to bring in a Carson Quaffle, a Bubba Pollard every once in a while, a Max Pappas on these road courses, you're going to go ahead and do it. You just wish these guys could have more opportunities to really show what they got, because maybe the sponsors could then fall in love with them instead of daddy's little boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would think so, but we've seen this before. I mean, we've seen it with Michael Annett back with Junior Motorsports back in
Oh.
like 2017 to 21. That was another case of daddy's money because Annett's dad was, I think, the CEO. Yeah, he was the CEO of Flying J or Pilot, one or the other.
Man, do you remember when Josh Berry subbed for Michael Annett
Yeah,
when Michael
he
Annett was
won
in
injured?
that car.
And
Yeah,
he
and he
fucking
won
won in
in
that
that
car,
car.
first fucking race. Like, dude,
Yeah.
Michael Annett was
I mean,
such
that's
a
what gave
joke.
Josh Berry the
A
reputation
full-time
he
ride,
needed.
yeah.
Yeah, and Junior
Yeah.
convinced Tire Pros to go with Josh Berry the next year. Like, again, these opportunities come up, and if these guys take advantage of them, there's a very good chance we see Carson Quaffle racing one of
Yeah.
these JR Motorsports cars next season.
Yeah,
Who knows
Exactly.
who knows what's going to happen?
totally agree. All right, guys. Riley Herbst, he gets spun by Justin Allgaier. We were just talking about him. Poor Sammy Smith and Kyle Sieg slam into the 98. Their days are over. Sucks to see for Kyle Sieg. He was having a pretty good day. Austin Hill spins in overtime on the restart. Love to see that. He was he was not making any friends throughout this entire race right here.
Yeah.
But story of the day goes to Mr. Ryan Truex going back to back at Dover, outrunning Quapple to get his second career win. Pretty damn cool to see for Ryan Truex to back that win up from last year. This guy, he really loves the Monster Mile.
Truex, it's in the Truex blood. That's
It
in
is.
the Truex bloodstream.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna get another Martin win on Sunday, but did not turn out. But good for Ryan.
I mean, yeah,
This guy's worked his ass off in NASCAR. He's had some really shitty rides, and he's had some good rides where he's had some really bad luck. But finally, everything is coming together for this kid.
I mean, he's only raced 6 times since this race last year.
Mm-hmm.
And so even to come out and be that rusty, he's not in this car all the time. It's one thing to be in this car all the time, be really good at one track and get a win there every year, but it's another thing to not even be in the car. And this is another guy where you hope somebody wants to get behind him and see what else he can do, because he's getting a little too old to be a prospect.
Yep.
Anymore,
Right.
and like, you got to think that even if he's half the driver Martin Truex Jr. is, then you got to go with him. Like, he's going to be a solid guy to have in your stable. But again, you saw the Toyota Gazoo Racing on the side of the car. He doesn't have anybody backing him.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Gibbs paid for that car to go out there today. And yeah, it's tough. It's tough. And it's the sad part of the business of this series and this sport. You have these great drivers that can do really amazing things, but we don't get to see it all the time because they don't have the right backing.
Yep.
So this win right here, this is just a good example of just stay with it all day. I mean, early in this race on, Truex, he qualified 12th, I think, and he pretty much ran back end of top 10 most of the day. He just battled through the attrition. He stayed out of all the wrecks, and he put himself in a position to win the race at the end. And he had the experience over Carson Quaffle. He went out and he took it. So that good for Ryan. I love his just little simple idea of "Go Ryan." That T-shirt is fantastic. I love it. But yeah, at this point I would just give him 1 year, see what he can go out and do. That's
and he's got to start the work now. 2 of these Gibbs cars are shared. 2 of them.
Yeah.
And if he can put together a sponsorship deal and take it over to coach next off season or during the season, be like, hey, I got you the 30 races you need me for next year, and I've got backing for it. One of these cars has to be his. I mean,
Yeah.
again, 2 wins and 8 starts or something. It's good. That's really
Mhm.
good, and it's
Yeah.
as long as he's got somebody to pay for the car. But there's a non-zero chance that we could see a lot more Ryan Truex next year.
Well, it almost happened. It almost happened for Bane last year. He had
Mhm.
he had the sponsor. He had the sponsorship. He thought he had the sponsorship because he turned down a really good truck ride. He never said which truck ride that was. My guess is it was a Tricon ride or something like that. But yeah, he said in an interview that he thought he had the sponsor to go run full time Xfinity last year.
Mm.
They pulled out last second. So shit sucks.
I mean,
Yeah.
it goes all the way to Cup Series. I mean, that's the reason that Kyle Busch is racing for RCR this year. It's because the sponsorship model that wasn't there.
Yep.
It's
Shit
just
sucks.
it's a tough sport, but again, that's also brings us these moments of glory for these so-called little guys. I mean, he's a Truex after all. How little can he be?
Yeah.
But these so-called little guys. I mean, you got Carson Quaffle and Ryan Truex up there running part-time, battling out for the win.
Yeah.
It was a really good show on Saturday for
Love
sure.
to see it.
And another big win for another little guy. Anthony Alfredo wins the Dash for Cash, $100,000 for him and that small team of the 5 car. Just gotta love to see it for a guy like Anthony Alfredo. Another guy who's just been through the shit of NASCAR, has been through some really bad teams. But he's made a name for himself. He's got his sauce mafia. He's fast pasta. And he finally has $100,000, and that's huge for him and that team. They're gonna go pretty far with that.
Think of how many dude wipes he can buy with that.
He's a grinder, and he's got a good sponsorship relationship. What more can you ask for? He gets to go out there and race, and he's got a couple top 10s under his belt now.
Yeah,
this season it's really good stuff.
Love to see that.
Great guy to see get the Dash for Cash, but if only we didn't have to deal with Fox cutting his interview at the post race. Why did you do that, Fox?
The race
and then they show it like 24 hours
later.
later.
They had the TV window. The race went long with the delays and whatnot. Like it's a hard thing. It's a hard thing, but when the race goes long, there's
here.
Sorry about that. But Anthony Alfredo, he's not slouching this year. He's ahead of Sammy Smith and Brandon Jones. He's sitting 10th in points. Ahead of Sam Mayer too. Sam Mayer's 14th, Brandon Jones 12th, Sammy Smith 11th. He's beating 3 JRM cars in points this year.
Pretty damn impressive.
That's a very solid start to the first third of the season. And now he's got $100,000. He said it in that interview that we saw on social afterwards. They don't have anything. They don't have alliances. They don't have sim time. They don't really even have a shop. They build these cars wherever they can and show up to the track and hope they hit on the setups. And he hit on the setup, and the cautions and the Riley Herbst spin helped him kind of solidify this. But $100,000 is $100,000, but it might as well have been $1 million to a team this size.
Yeah. But that's still a big victory for them, and hopefully, Fox gives him that recognition that he deserves, because, like you said, he is running really good at Talladega. He ran incredible there. I mean, him and Kligerman, Parker, they're 2 very underfunded teams in this sport right now, both sitting in the top 10 ahead of 3 of the 4 junior motorsports cars. But we already know we can kind of exclude Sam Mayer from that conversation, because Sam Mayer does have the win at Texas this year that automatically does qualify him for the playoffs but with the bad luck that Sam Mayer had, I think he DNF'd or was involved in a wreck like the first 4 races this year. If I'm thinking correctly. Yeah,
he had a pretty rough start.
Had a pretty rough start. He's picking himself back up now, but to say for Kligerman and Anthony Alfredo to be in this machinery and be running ahead of the 3 other junior motorsports cars, that takes a lot of skill, honestly.
Pretty damn cool, man. All right, guys, so let's get into the Cup Series race. Kyle Busch won the pole. Pretty cool to see out of that 8 team. Didn't last long.
It kind of did. It kind of did. I don't know, man. He ran up front all day. all day. We didn't have any pit problems. I was so proud of my boy. I'm gonna cry.
Man, get this
Oh,
man some Kleenex.
right? We didn't have a shit week.
This man has seen the
How
light.
how far the bar has fallen for Kyle Busch.
I got
5-6 years ago. I'm pissed if we're finishing fourth.
yeah. Now it's a blessing.
Yeah, no,
Yes. Fourth. No way. Oh, anyway,
oh man, but
All right, and go ahead.
no, it was a big one for KFB. I'll be honest with
yeah.
you. That was, oh boy, if only we had Dalton in this one here as well. Him and Tom would be.
This is why we don't put Dalton on the show, because we don't need two Kyle Busch fans here.
Oh boy.
Dalton's like a once in a year kind of guy.
It's one Kyle Busch fan is more than enough, and Dalton counts as like 6 Kyle Busch fans.
Very, very
Love you,
true.
buddy, but you're a little much there sometimes. Since he's gotten his new cool gig, he's been a little bit more subdued. So good on him.
He has to be.
He's living Kyle Busch now. He's not just cheering for him.
Yep.
Anyway.
All right, guys. Brad Keselowski, early spin for him with the right rear tire down. I mean, tire just blew. They were kind of courting pretty early in this race.
I thought we had a Bristol setup coming.
Yeah, I thought that's
how the track was rubbering up, and you saw courting and whatnot. You're like, oh, are we going to see this again? And it kind of kept me glued. After the first stage, I was like, okay, maybe tires aren't such a huge deal, but good to see the track take rubber. Good to see multiple lanes, and we didn't have any blowouts, but we did have courting and whatnot. So they are losing.
I think
did not have a complete blowout like Bristol.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I think the weather had a lot to do with that. I think if we had more conditions like a Bristol, maybe we would have seen this game. But no, I was thinking about that too when we had practice on Saturday and those conditions. I was like, oh shit, here we go. But no, yeah, I think the weather really helped out.
Oh, and such a beautiful day at a track for years that has not had a good day to race, and with COVID and whatnot, the fans couldn't show up, and then they just had rainy, shitty days for the past couple of years. For this one to have a beautiful day and see that crowd there, it was just an electric atmosphere. It looked like it was really cool to see on TV there.
Yeah, packed house too for Dover. It was. They said it was like 99% full. So
yeah, at least Brad, as he was driving around at half speed, had a beautiful blue sky.
That's got to be the worst part. Brad has that issue, and then he's just riding around.
There's nowhere to hide at Dover.
There's
nowhere to hide at Dover.
9 laps down, man.
Sucks. Tough.
Yep. But a guy not having a tough day, Martin Truex Jr., he wins stage 1. Kyle Larson wins stage 2. So great points for those two. And then we get Ricky Stenhouse. I don't know who said this. I think it might have been NASCAR Chasm. Ricky Stenhouse pulls the sad pancake. Yeah, instead of the Hail Melon. Ricky Stenhouse spins and then goes onto the inside wall and starts riding that wall.
Was that during a pit cycle? Was that the one during the pit cycle?
Yeah, that was the golden one right there.
Yeah, Josh Berry coming out of the pits and hooked him. Again, there's nowhere to hide. There's nowhere to hide on this track, and we see this every year. It's just cars come together, and then you get antsy towards the end of the race, and people are just trying to get everything they can.
Oh yeah, because
see that for Stenhouse. You hate to see that for Stenhouse because he actually was having a really good day. He was riding around just around 10th or 11th all day long. That team could have used a finish like that.
I mean, he got points in stage 2,
but I have to say thank you.
He got points in both stages. Yeah,
I do have to say thank you, Ricky Stenhouse, because you saved my ass in this race. So thank you.
Yeah, that was just an unfortunate sequence there because he came out pit road. Josh Berry was going by, and they sort of just met and just collided with another. Just came together. It's unfortunate, it happened like that. And Stenhouse he's run pretty good at Dover. I remember he finished second to Chase back in 22, had a outstanding run there. I mean, Dover's been probably the best of the non-super speedway tracks for Ricky Stenhouse Jr., I would say. It's been up there for him. So to see him have a good day, but for him to spin and crash out, it was disappointing.
Yeah.
And me and Ian love that. Saved our days right there.
I mean,
Yeah.
10 and 31 were saved.
It kind of saved the 8th state too, because they did not get that car full of fuel.
Yep.
We almost shat the bed again.
So, thank you, Josh
But
Berry,
we did it,
for
yeah.
pulling that move.
Hell yeah.
More trouble out of turn 2. Bubba Wallace, Christopher Bell, and William Byron all wreck.
Ugh.
I still don't know who caused it because Fox can't put a goddamn
Looked
camera
like
on
Zane
him.
Smith.
They said 6 different names. It
Yeah.
was- we're breaking news on a what is it today? This airs Wednesday. It was Zane Smith. There you go.
It was.
We figured it out. We figured it out. We did our excellent sleuthing and got down to the bottom of that one.
Where's our
Damn
full-time spotter reporter jobs, Fox News? We want these offers now.
No, they don't want to spend that money. They can't even spend that money on freaking real producers and directors, man. It's just
Yeah.
a joke over
It's sad.
I'm a television director.
Oh.
there. Yeah.
Hey.
Apply. What are you doing, Tom? Come on, man.
Come on,
Help us out here.
Tom.
I've never done sports. They probably wouldn't like that on the resume. I'd probably have to do a lot of ARCA races.
At least you get to zoom in on a lot of wrecked race
No,
cars.
well, as a director, I'd be like, zoom out. Zoom out.
Yeah,
Thank
Fox, they love their zooming in,
Mhm.
but yeah, another big L for Fox
Ugh.
Sports not showing us a wreck or not showing us passes or
Another
anything.
big
That
L.
backstretch is tough to shoot anyway. Like you saw that the front stretch cameras couldn't, as soon as they dip behind that wall. It's
Yeah.
a tough shot anyway, but it's a
Yeah.
restart. There's no other cars anywhere else. Like, come on.
And you want to
Yeah.
talk about another big L for Fox, man? Zane Smith, bad season 2024. Can't wait for that video to come out. He's just we're riding the struggle. We're riding the struggle bus here, and
Well-
we're now 11 races into this season. And you got Carson Hocevar, your teammate. He's just running light years better than you. I know it's going to be a year of growing pain for Zane Smith. I just really thought it would be better because of how similar this car is to the truck, more similar than it is in the Xfinity car.
Right, but
is.
you
So
gotta wonder what Spire's giving him, because
Right,
you
yeah.
see it all the time. Whether we like it or not, each team has the best car they bring and the worst car they bring, and Zane Smith's probably getting the C Series car on a C tier team, and even though we say all the cars are the same and they run the same, somebody's still got to finish last, and it
Yep.
seems to be Zane Smith this year. It was Noah
Yeah.
Gragson last year. No funding team with the B Series car. Like it's an unfortunate part. Somebody's got to finish last for us to have racing. You can't
You
just,
just
have
hate
one
to
car.
see it.
Otherwise, we're watching qualifying.
Right.
It makes you wonder what Trackhouse is currently thinking, though, because I mean, this is an alliance between
Mhm.
Spire and Trackhouse here. Because remember,
Well, that's why he's getting the C car, because
that's
he's
why
not their
he's-
driver.
yeah, he's
Yep.
not their driver, and Trackhouse is kind of monitoring him. But I wouldn't say Daniel Suarez. I know Suarez has the win at Atlanta. I wouldn't say he's having the best year. He's okay. He's had a couple okay runs, but you really want to make the argument that you're gonna replace Suarez in this 99 car with Zane Smith?
Connor Zilish.
Connor
Yeah.
Zilish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. He's their backup driver. He's
Yeah.
got the contract with them already.
I mean,
Nope.
you need seats.
Yeah.
Daniel's not going anywhere.
Yep.
No.
Not with what Justin Marks said, and not with that Pitbull relationship.
No.
And Ross isn't going anywhere. He wins
Yeah.
races.
Yep.
Yeah.
You need to buy
Yeah.
charters.
Yep.
You need seats for all these guys. You got 3 drivers now. I guess you got Zane Smith, you got Van Gisbergen, and you got Zilish.
Yeah.
Where are you
Yeah.
going to put all these guys?
That's
And
a stacked lineup there.
can't really throw them into Colleague because Colleague, they ain't gonna be
They're
getting.
struggling
we
out.
got our own problems over at Colleague, man.
Hey, Colleague,
we
hold
don't
on.
we don't want anybody more.
Colleagues finishing top 10, so I don't know.
Yeah, it was like this was all. I thought this was a great day for you, Nick, and then you're like, "Well, we got our own problems here."
Yeah. This is just one small victory. We got a long road ahead of us. We'll take them when we can get them, though.
It's one small step for man.
Yeah.
One giant leap for Colleague.
That is going to be a pretty big leap. But guys, it all ends up with number 11 dominating the final stage, holding off the charging 5 car of Kyle Larson. who was trying to make or break it in those closing laps, but Denny was able to hold him off, throwing some aero blocks and got the win at Dover.
Let me just say this for Nick, because I say this all the time. It's one of my favorite all time Denny quotes. I beat your favorite driver.
Hey, he just loves that one's dead. He loves to win races. He loves to win.
Mhm.
That's what he said there. I mean, Denny Hamlin this season this is the season of Denny Hamlin so far. He shows up at every single racetrack each and every week. And I mean, what he's led a lap in 12 straight. He's going for Kyle Busch's record. I don't know if he'll get there. Maybe he will because we're going to Kansas and he's very good there too. So, but no, we show up to every race, each racetrack we've gone to. Denny Hamlin's been up there, and he said, "Hey, I'm here." And so we had what 3 wins all of last year, and now we have 3 in the first 11 races. I like where we're at right now. So great day for the 11 team.
Hello, Kyle Busch fan here.
Yes.
Kyle Busch started the first half of this last year. I just don't want you to get your hopes up quite yet.
Yeah, I know how this goes. I've seen this
we had
story
3 wins and
before.
we fell off a cliff. But there's a difference. There's a difference between Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin right now, which is Joe Gibbs Racing. And Joe Gibbs Racing is so strong right now. And Denny Hamlin is their strongest driver right now. I'll leave people talking about, let's talk about Aero for a second. This isn't new. These cars cut through the air and you can't change physics. No matter what you do to this car, you're not going to change physics. We see aero blocking in F1. Like it's part of this sport. And yeah, there's a bigger issue. I think more power, so just these guys can get up closer to each other. Mistakes mean more would be better. But we've been aero blocking for years and years and years, and this isn't new. And just because Denny Hamlin wins a race doesn't mean we have to go.
That's
and
exactly
revamp
what
I know.
Revamp the whole car.
I'm just laughing at everybody on
Stop
Twitter.
crying about aero blocking. I mean, Larson admitted to it in the post race that's how he won Vegas.
Yeah.
So, and it's how he won a stage that day. And again, you can't guarantee that Larson had the better car at the end because, like Denny said, he got out to a 4-second lead. You don't need to win by 4 seconds. You need to win by an inch, like we saw in the Xfinity Series race at Texas. You can use that lead to save your car, save some time, and then then you can aero block. So I think we need to stop crying about aero blocking. It's just the one thing that people want to gripe about because NASCAR fans love to complain. And
nothing new.
There's nothing you're going to do about it. There's nothing you're going to do about it. No matter what they do to any of these cars, they may not have known about it in the 70s, but it was still happening. Now they know how to control it and they know what to look for. That's the difference. That's your golden age. And that's what's gone. It's that they know how to control this. They're learning each and every year. And I just had to go on a little rant there you're not going to change.
Yeah. Totally agree with
physics.
you, man.
Yeah.
I totally agree because we've had Aero in NASCAR since the beginning. And yeah, like you said, just recently we've actually started recording it and realized how to control it. And this is nothing new. We have seen aero blocking in NASCAR for well over 20 years.
I mean, we used to have the Jackman rip out the fender. He used to flare the fender and then like truck the door to create a pocket and then shove the air out so you get more side forward. Like ridiculous.
Yeah, there's nothing to change with Aero. Aero is perfectly fine. Just number one thing that will help this goddamn car and all the other drivers, all the other teams will agree with me, is some goddamn horsepower. And I'm so sick of hearing it and saying it, but
let them build their own cars again.
Yeah,
dude, we just need a split from NASCAR. We need these guys to say, you know what, fuck you, we're gonna build some real race cars.
Yeah.
Like again, this next gen really cool opportunity, but throw it in the trash. Like get it out of here.
Yeah,
get this next gen thing out of here. It's
Hey man, it's been fun.
It ain't it. It's been fun, but like
it's been fun for me.
Yeah, Denny's like really the only veteran that's like actually like consistently doing good with this thing.
Yeah.
Well, and maybe I'm just a little upset too because my guy was the greatest driver in Gen 6 and now he's the worst driver in Gen 7.
Yeah, dude, it killed Kevin too.
Yeah, exactly.
Killed a lot of drivers.
Yeah.
Let's go off of that though. Did you guys see this? I didn't see this unfortunately was unable to watch the race live. I saw it afterwards. Did you see in stage two with Bowman trying to go for the win on Larson? And I think you mentioned this too. That's how Larson got the stage win. And he basically said, him and his crew chief, Blake Harris, is that his name? His crew chief? They were arguing on the radio, and they were just
On a
like,
spot, yeah, he was
yeah, about
spotter.
yeah, or a spotter,
Mhm.
I mean, and they're it's aero blocking. It's like, what are you gonna do? You can't
Yeah.
really do much about it.
So
So
he said you can keep whining about it, but you just got to go up there and get him. And then he said,
yeah.
"Let me drive the fucking race car, Kevin."
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Nick, you made a comment at the beginning of this show about how even with all the success Denny's had, you still said he's going to be the greatest to not win a championship. Like when it's all said and done, you don't think he can pull this year off? Because I think we say this a lot, but I think this is his best year and his
This is
best
definitely
opportunity,
shaping. This is
especially in this platform and in this format that we have of the sport. I mean, just look at these next 3 weeks. You got we already knew he could have been a threat at Dover. He's going to Kansas where he won last year, and Toyota is always good. Darlington might as well rename it Denny. Then and then we're going to North Wilkesboro on a repave, and the Toyotas have been crushing it at short tracks too. It's just like Denny's got the full package. He said that he with 25 races to go this year, he realistically thinks he could win 22. Obviously, we're
yeah.
not going
I
to see
mean,
that.
it's not
But
going to happen like that.
Not
But
gonna
yeah, he
happen.
shows up. He
what
showed
I
up to
want
the
Denny to learn is that if he doesn't, I want him to learn that he doesn't need to wreck the car to go for the win. Second is just fine. And that's going to make his playoff run a lot more comfortable if he can just rack up points and be okay with second for a little bit. Because we see Denny, we've seen it a couple times already. He wrecked at Phoenix, going for the win. He wrecked at Texas, going for the win. That's he's lost 60, 72 points basically through those wrecks. I mean, that's a bit of an exaggerate, but at least 60 points going through those wrecks. And I think that's going to be the difference. If he can adapt his style this season through the rest of the year, maybe after the All-Star break, to just start going max on points, I think it's a dangerous, and
Yeah, they just
I think Denny
really
could win the championship if he shifts that mindset a little bit.
they
Take
just have to
take
keep.
the wins when you can and go for points when you can.
Yeah.
They just have keep doing what they've been doing all season. Like I said, every week we show up to the racetrack, the 11 cars out front at some point during the race if he's not
Mhm.
winning them. Yeah, just keep building. Like you said, Tom. Let's not try and go wrecking for the win when we can get a second place or a third place. Just keep racking up top fives. That's going to be huge going down the stretch and into the playoffs. Win when you can, because really he'll skate by the round of 16, the round of 12 very easily, but it's that round of 8. That's where the top threes, top fives start mattering, and the race wins start mattering. So just consistently build it up and go get it done. I will say this is probably his best chance at it this year. The way that I've seen him drive through these first 11 races, he for sure looks like he's a man on a mission to finally get this done. But we'll see what happens. I hope to be wrong. But yeah, I don't know.
From what I've seen so far this year, this is a battle between Gibbs and Hendrick so far this season. And who has
Yeah,
been the
Fords are
best?
non-existent.
Fords are non-existent. Penske and Blaney, they've kind of, Blaney, I kind of expected this
Blaney's
because
lingering,
he's
he's
lingering,
there.
he's lurking, he's up in the top 10, but he's asked to do a lot. But who are the forefront drivers right now at Gibbs and Hendrick? That is Byron, Hendrick, and Hamlin for Gibbs. This is really shaping up to be a
Mhm.
Gibbs versus Hendrick fight to the finish right here for this so far in the regular season. That may change. That may change as the season goes on. But from what we're seeing right now, man, if I had to bet anything, I my favorites right now would have to be, as we're third through the season almost, that would have to be Denny and Byron for this title
I
because
mean,
those
there are winningest drivers right now, but they're not at the top. Denny's fourth, and Byron is sixth in points with straight up points. Kyle Larson is the only person in triple digit stage points. Kyle
Wow.
Larson has, and this is what's scary about Kyle Larson. He has that mentality of if I can't win, I'm going to be happy to finish second. I'm going to be happy to finish third. He
And
takes what the car can get to him, and he maximizes his points. He's got 126 stage points this year. I looking down this list, he's the only one in the triple digits. It's a really, and that's why he's sitting atop the points. Martin Truex sitting second, 91 stage points, 395 total. He's not won, but obviously he's earned enough points and been consistent enough to go ahead and sit here second. So there's
Exactly.
this mentality, and yeah, we emphasize winning so much, but obviously it's not everything because Denny and William are not sitting at the top of the leaderboard right now.
Yeah.
Larson's going to be another one too, because when, like I think we said it too last year. I heard some of the commentators. I think it was a Black Flags Matter on YouTube, Darian
Oh,
Gilliland.
fuck that guy.
Yeah, I know some of you don't really have the best of opinions of him, but he did say something pretty interesting about Larson though. When Larson isn't up front leading,
Yeah.
he's spinning out, or he's wrecking, or he's up front,
Records or
or he's
checkers?
wreckers or checkers. That was the thing that Larson needed to clean up last season. And what's he doing right now? He hasn't really been involved. I mean, yeah, at super speedways he's been involved in accidents, but that's his Achilles heel. He's always been involved in accidents at super speedways,
Mhm.
but the other races, he's run pretty well. And to go off of what Tom said, yeah, he's racking up stage points. He's getting poles. The poles have translated to on-track success in the opening stages or in the first two stages of every race. The finishes haven't been wins, but right now you're putting Kyle Larson up there at the top right now with Byron and Hamlin. You got yourself a pretty good case right there for a championship fight, for those three. And then obviously Blaney's lurking. Who's the other driver in the championship for? Was it Truex last year?
No, he didn't make it into the round.
Bell, Larson, Blaney, and Byron.
Bell.
Who was the
Oh,
other?
Bell, Larson,
Bell.
Blaney, Byron.
Oh, Bell. Okay, sorry. Yeah, Bell. Yeah, because Bell wrecked out so early in that
Mhm.
race. And we've seen, honestly, I just want to point this out for the record too, because no one has really talked about it. Christopher Bell has kind of fallen off the past couple weeks because I
he's
looked
had
at
Last
it.
some
four
real bad
races.
luck.
Yeah,
Last four races.
yeah, some really heartbreaking luck because I think after Phoenix he was like leading points, or he was definitely top five.
He's
But
got an average finish of 19.3 right now.
Ooh.
yeah, he is back to 17th in points right now because he's had a rough 4 weeks.
Mhm.
So that's the thing for Christopher Bell that he's kind of got to work on a little bit. I know, we can emphasize wins are definitely emphasized because they get you into the playoffs. But, you know, these stage points, these stage wins, that's going to be key for some of those drivers to get back up there and trying to get themselves to victory. Larson may end up exposing the system because, yeah, he hasn't won as much as Hamlin or Byron does, but if he keeps running consistently and he keeps, yeah, he has the one win, but that gets him in the playoffs, but he keeps running
Uh,
consistently.
I don't know if I'd agree with Larson ever being an argument to expose a system, not with Cliff Daniels. Larson is just an alien race car driver. I
Yeah,
don't
that
I
he
don't
is.
think there's any system that he could expose that he wouldn't just from being human. Because like we saw him pop off 10
I
wins
would
that
take
season.
I would take Larson as a bigger threat over Byron right now for Hamlin. Byron comes and goes in
Mhm.
stretches.
Yeah,
Larson's always there.
Byron's streaky for sure.
Larson's
Uh,
just always there.
yeah.
But yeah, last thing I'll say about Dover is you can call it a fluke. I don't give a shit. 31 boys got a top 10 because you could say that the final green flag run was 62 laps. He had to stay in the top 10 for 62 laps and he did it. So
Yeah, that
I don't
31
give it. I
stayed.
don't give a.
That 31 was on the pylon at the end of the race as everybody was leaving. So
Yeah,
He was there. So I
that's
don't
a
really give a shit.
that's
Yep.
a that's the greatest victory Colleague has had this whole
uh
season. That's
I was
that
screaming at the
Yeah.
TV watching that final battle, not because Larson was chasing down Hamlin, because I was watching the times between Gregson and Bush. I was like, pass him, Kyle! Pass him, Kyle! Pass him! You're within 2 tenths. Just pass him. And obviously that's easier said than done. But he got the job done eventually. But again, Nick, I'm the same way. It's like, man, my guy had a good week for the first time, what feels like forever. Like
Yeah, for real.
Atlanta was a fever. Like anybody, that could have been anybody up there in that front row coming to finish at Atlanta. Daytona 500 has always been a heartbreak in my life. But like this at a real racetrack, we aren't
Yeah.
just riding around. I was sitting in the stands at Texas and just watching him come back around 30th, 30th,
Before
every time. Couldn't move up, and we finally just put together a solid race weekend. I'm gonna cry again.
Before Talladega, we had 5 finishes of 28th or worse before Talladega. Finished 9th at Talladega. That's Talladega. That's its own story. And to come back out here at Dover, a tough racetrack, come away 9th again, I will take it. Back-to-back top 10s. Keep the momentum riding into Kansas.
I will
Love
say,
to see it, man.
I will say though, for this week, I feel like I know Ford didn't win, but it did somewhat feel like a bit of a rebound for them. I mean, Blaney was up there leading some laps, ran top 10 all day, top 5 even. Gregson had himself a good day. I don't know, Josh Berry actually ran pretty decent up in the top 15 at a track we didn't really think he'd. Josh Berry isn't really known for running well at Dover, but the Fords, they need to figure it out. They need to get some stuff going. I know Joey kind of got screwed over on some of those super speedway races because he was the dominant car at Atlanta and at Daytona, but man, they really need to get that stuff figured out over at the Penske right now. And I'd say this too. If I were Roger Penske, and I know that they're not going to do this at all, because again, money talks, or relations talks, but I put Austin Cindric on that hot seat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I feel
it won't
like he
happen
should be, but Timmy
with
loves
Tim
his son.
Cindric in there. Yeah, that ain't happening.
No, that ain't
Yep.
happen. It should happen, but it ain't.
Nope, it will never happen. But guys, I think that might be a good spot to end our show. Make sure to check us out on Twitter and Instagram. Matt, thank you again for following us along here on the Stock Car Spectacle. I know we talk a lot of shit about a lot of drivers, but I'm glad you're able to come on. And we'll get ready for our Kansas preview here in a few. So, guys, for the Stock Car Spectacle, I'm Ian Jortson.
I'm Nick Kinsel.
I'm Tom Hoplin.
And thanks
And
for joining us, Matt. Thanks for coming on.
thank you once again, fellas. Great to be on, and hope to be on sometime soon.
Absolutely, brother. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Stock Car Spectacle. I'm Ian Jortson.
I'm Nick Kinsel.
I'm Tom Hoplin.
And we got our buddy Matt back with us from the Dover Show. Matt, how you doing? Ready to talk some Kansas racing?
Let's do it.
All right, guys. Let's do it. We got the Truck Series and the Cup Series this weekend. No Xfinity. Big disappointment. Me and Nick are heading to the track for the first time out in Kansas City. I'm excited.
So it's gonna. I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna make me sad because it's gonna be like this is the sister track to Chicagoland right here. It's gonna make me shed a tear.
Sad.
Rest in peace. Yep.
Hey, it's still in one piece. It's still in one piece.
Yeah, it's still there. It's still
It's not Auto Club.
No.
Rest in peace. Rest
But
in
man,
peace.
yeah, I'm pumped to get out there because this track right here is put on some of the best racing we've seen in a long time. And yeah, I'm ready to get out there and I'm ready to see it in person.
I am pumped, buddy. Can't wait to get out there. But let's talk the Truck Series. We got the Heart of America 200, 134 laps, 201 miles. Stages 1 and 2 are 30 laps each. The final will be 74 laps. Last year's winner was Grant Enfinger. Pretty cool to see out of him. And most team wins here, KBM, rest in peace, with 5 wins. And most manufacturer wins, Toyota tops the charts with 10 wins. So, guys, might want to pick a Yoder for this one. They do pretty good here at Kansas. So, Matt, my good friend, we'll start off with you. Who you got winning the Truck Series race on Saturday night?
Well, honestly, I know my boy Nick Sanchez this season broke through at Daytona, got that win. He's ruffled some feathers in the garage area. He got he irked Matt Crafton, which I actually like, by the way. I liked him going up against Crafton. Because fuck that old man.
Oh,
Um, yeah. So I'm gonna go with Sanchez winning this weekend's race here, and he is going to dominate.
all
It's a
right.
solid pick. I mean, it's a Spire prepared truck, and we know how strong Spire's been all season at all kinds of tracks. So I like that a lot.
Yeah,
Mm,
I do too. Tom, who you got Saturday?
I'm wearing the hat. Got to go with Toyota, like you said. Kind of the kind of a half KBM staple. Tricon got all the Toyota support after KBM switched over to Chevy, and I'm gonna go with Taylor Gray to have a breakthrough here, get his first win of the season.
Would love to see that for
Yeah, just
him.
the solid. I think Toyota's right there, and any of those Tricon trucks can win, but you're really looking at your 11 and your 17 as their
Yeah.
strongest trucks in
Yeah.
that camp. And I think Taylor Gray can get it done. He's shown a lot of promise this year.
I think both the Gray brothers are
mhm.
really just about to break that seal and get their first win and then just go on a tear. They've looked great. They're both Tricon drivers driving for a great team. So yeah, I gotta agree with you there, Tom. All right, Nick, who you got winning the Truck Series race?
I'm staying in that stable. I'm going with that 11 truck. Give me Corey
Mm.
Heim. Last week, he made his Cup Series debut at Dover, and I actually think he did a really good job. He brought the car home in one piece. He
Yeah.
finished 25th in that race. I think he could have ran a little bit better. I think he was running a little bit better than where he ultimately finished. So I think he's going to ride that momentum. I know that the Cup and Chuck, they kind of drive a little similar. So I think he's going to take that momentum. He's going to come to Kansas on Saturday night, and he's going to open a can of whoop ass. And yeah, Corey Haim's going to victory lane.
I don't know, man. That's a risky pick. He only has an average finish of 3.8. Wow.
Oh
Like,
no!
talk about an animal in the truck series, man. Like that
Wow.
guy's so good, and he'll win it. He'll put it up front anywhere you set that truck down.
Mm.
Just can't freak out during a championship race like he did last year.
Just yeah,
Well, he had it taken away from him. Wouldn't you freak out?
just
Yeah.
make just make sure just be happy that Carson isn't running this weekend's race at all or anywhere near him at the track.
Very true. All right, guys. Well, I said a Toyota will get you the victory lane, but I don't think so. I gotta go with a bow tie, Raja Caruth for Spire Motorsports. Won at Las Vegas earlier this year to get his first Truck Series win. And yeah, here we are at another mile and a half. And I just think he's gonna do great.
Yeah, he's been running well all season long.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's
Mhm.
got that win at Vegas to go with it too. So I'd be interested to see how he does. I would love to see a Raja win in person. That would be badass.
Oh, that would be
You just
amazing.
Oh,
you
that'd
you
be
want to see a
insane.
little bit more consistency out of Raja, but again, he's here to learn. He's here to grow. I mean, he's gotten one of the latest starts in racing in the field, so he's still going to have some of those growing pains. But the fact that he's already got one win under his belt will give him a lot of confidence. It's at a similar track to this one, um, and I think that's an excellent pick.
Hey, he's learning quite a bit though this year. He
Yeah.
took a lot of what he
Yeah.
learned from last year and is applying it this year. So, I'm really excited to see him going forward.
And
Me too.
note that none of us took the points leader and the only multi-winner of this season in Christian Eckes. Look out!
Ah,
Look out for that 19 truck. He's going to be
I,
strong.
yeah, I think he'll be
Yeah.
up there too.
he'll
Oh
be
yeah.
up there.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
he'll be up there. But we'll see though.
Yep. All right, guys, let's talk the Cup race on Sunday. The Advent Health 400 mile race, 267 laps. Stages 1 and 2 will be 80 each, and the final will be 107 laps. Last year's winners, we had Denny Hamlin winning in the spring and Tyler Reddick winning in the fall. So Toyotas, they do great here. Some notables that we got in this one. Riley Herbst will be back in that 15, bringing Monster Energy along with him. He's been doing pretty great in that Cup Series ride, so we'll see how he can do at Kansas. Austin Hill's going to be in that 33 ride, and Jimmy Johnson, the GOAT,
Jansen.
seven-time, will be back in that 84 at Kansas Speedway. So hopefully he can keep it in one piece like he did at Dover last weekend.
Penciling in a P29 finish for Jimmy Johnson in the 84 team on Sunday.
All right.
Leave Jimmy alone. Let
Leave him
Jimmy have
alone.
fun. Leave Jimmy alone. He's just having fun, man. He owns that car. You let him bring it out
He
and
got
drive
he
it.
got beat by Corey Heim, the fucking rookie.
I hope I hope Jimmy Johnson pulls a red farmer and is still racing Cup Series in 50 years.
Oh yeah.
He's
Oh,
95. He's like, I can still get in the car. I got a shot.
Jeez.
We're gonna be driving hover cars by then anyway, but
Yeah.
Pit stop. I need a diaper change too. God damn it.
also speaking let's make a note here. We record these kind of earlier in the week, so we still don't have news on Eric Jones. He is on the entry list right now, but obviously he's going to be day to day with his back issue. I personally don't think he should race. I think he should take a couple weeks off and just let it simmer. He's already got a playoff waiver. He's already kind of in a must-win position to make the playoffs. No need to rush back.
Especially at a track like this.
Especially with how good he is at Darlington. Don't risk anything. Don't risk. You got to get him back for Darlington because that's going to be one of his best shots to get into the playoffs. So I say just put Heim back in that car again this week. But again, that's all speculative. We don't know what's going to happen. This comes out later in the week, but we record it early. So
this is coming from a guy who deals with chronic back pain from an injury from years and years and years ago. Don't push it, Eric. Do not push it, because you get into one more wreck. If you come into Kansas, you're gonna be screwed, man. You're gonna hurt your whole body. And
there's no Danica Patrick to explode here.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's very true. Very true.
Yeah.
Man, my whole big thing about Eric Almirola's back injury was Danica Patrick. And she got interviewed and she blamed everyone. She didn't even care Eric Almirola was getting into an ambulance. All she cared about
was the roof off his car.
Yeah, she cared about is that someone wrecked her. And she was like, "Oh, it was his fault. It was his fault." Like, no, there's a guy being airlifted to a hospital right now.
Didn't Joey Logano have like a mechanical failure that set
he did. Yeah.
Like,
and
obviously, it's the heat of the moment. Your adrenaline's running.
Yeah.
Not to bring back some grief to this crazy lady from 7 years ago, but
well, now she's a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, no, that crazy lady that's a fact. That's not tongue in cheek. She's literally a crazy lady now. So.
that she is. So no, that ain't
she's gonna sue me, but that's fine.
Nick, that was like 2017.
2017.
Because then that's when Bubba made his debut at Pocono, and Bubba's rookie year was 2018.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that was it. I do remember seeing the Almirola crash on my TV screen, and that was such a hellacious. That was such a big impact. Yeah, Danica probably had. I mean, I understand her being upset at Joey, but it's like there was another guy in your wreck that just got taken on a hospital stretcher. Like
that was her whole career, though. She didn't give a shit about anybody but herself.
This isn't about Danica's long gone. She's gone the way of the F1 people.
Yeah. Exactly.
Danica's been gone well before this show even started, so yeah.
She's
old news.
No need to spend any more time on Danica. Although probably will. It's Miami GP this week, so Danica's probably highly involved in that. If you plan to watch that.
Good thing I'm going to be in barbecue country because I'm not watching it.
I'm going to dual screen them. I'll let you guys know how it happens. Max won.
I was going to. You don't have to tell much. Max Verstappen's going to win.
I'm going to be having me a Busch beer for the Busch Race 400 at Kansas.
Hell yeah!
Best sponsor ever to hit NASCAR.
All
right, guys, but let's make our picks for the Cup Series race on Sunday. Matt, we'll start off with you, buddy. Who you got?
All right, so the magic is in my hands now, and the magic at Kansas, that has been on the side of Toyota, and not the team in particular you would think, not Joe Gibbs Racing, 23-11. They won the last 4 races at Kansas, and I say 4 because, Denny won, but he technically runs that team, so that still counts as a 23-11 race win, team race win. So that counts in my definition of that. So and I'm honestly, it's going to be a 5-peat this week, and I'm going with Bubba. Bubba Wallace is going to break through. He is going to prove that he can race up there with Reddick. He has proved that he can race up there with Reddick. The finishes just haven't gone the way for Bubba. He's, in my opinion, before Talladega, he actually was outrunning Reddick quite a few races in that car. He was outrunning him quite a few races in that car. Had some shit luck go hit that didn't go his way. Results weren't up there, and they were like low top tens. We had some top fives as well, but honestly, I think he breaks through here at Kansas. He loves this place. Going with my boy.
We're starting to
Alright.
see a new era of Bubba Wallace. I mean, we saw it in his Dover post race interview. He's like, I should be mad and I should be pissed off, but that's the old me. I'm more mature now. And so we're going on to Kansas, and it's just like we're showing the maturity. We know that he hasn't had some. I mean, he got wrecked out of the last two races, but that's not dwelling on him like it would have used to, and it's not going to
Mhm.
affect his finish. He knows he can perform well here. In the fall, he had a tire issue.
Yeah.
So hopefully you got that rectified, but he was a threat to win again in the fall. So I have no reason to believe that Bubba won't show up and be competitive in this race.
Agreed.
Agreed.
All right, Tom, who you got, buddy?
I'm gonna go for some low-hanging fruit. Although, hold on, let me just take off my Toyota hat for a second here. I'm gonna go ahead and pick Kyle Larson. It's time for Kyle Larson to win another race. It comes every few weeks. I'm sorry, it just happened. This is what being a NASCAR fan is like. Kyle Larson will win a race every once in a while. He is an alien. So as much as I don't care for him, as much as I don't root for him, I still have to keep it real, and that's what I think is going to happen. He's always fast at these mile and a halves, and he knows how to get done.
Yeah.
Wait, could I just ask you something really quickly? How much pain are you hiding behind your face right now at the fact of saying this? Like, how much does your face want to like burn off your head?
We gotta get him a paper bag.
No, I try to keep it fair as much as I can on the show. I obviously have my drivers that I like and dislike, but you're going to a place like this. I mean, it's going to come down to
Yeah.
between the 5 and the 11, and I think the 5 pulls it off. That's
Yeah.
just my gut feeling here.
You don't want to
But
play favorites like Ian picking Kevin Harvick 10 times in a row and not being right in any of them.
Have I
Oh my
have I
God.
picked Kyle Busch? I think I picked Kyle Busch to win Daytona, but I haven't picked him
Yeah.
since. Because I don't think realistically that they have a winning car right now. If that changes, I'll start picking him. I'm not, but I'm
Right.
also not going to jump ship and be like, well, he finished 4th at Dover, so he's going to win Kansas. No.
Yep. No.
I thought about it. I really did, but I was like, I can't do that. I'll get my own hopes up too much.
Right.
I
Can't
keep
do
it
that
real.
to yourself.
I at least try to think I keep it real most times on this show.
Exactly. All right, Nico, who you got for Sunday?
Well,
I already got an idea.
I'm gonna be the homer here, but it's for good reason. I mean, this is the 2311 Joe Gibbs Racing Playground is what this track has turned into. Then I'm going with the 11 car, Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin is one of the hottest drivers in the series right now, just coming off that win at Dover, his third win of the season. And what better place to go to than the place he won last spring? Yeah, people want to say there's a little controversy in that. Fuck it. 11 car got the checkered flag at the end of the day. I don't care what you got to say. So we're gonna go out and we're gonna do it again. I'll be there in person, and Ian's gonna have to drag me out of those grandstands afterwards.
Momentum,
yeah,
momentum is a real thing.
it really is.
From last week and also from last year off of turn 2, he carried a lot of momentum right through Kyle Larson's bumper.
That's the last lap of the race for a checkered flag. Oh, that's
Hey,
off
yeah,
right
no,
there.
Matt said that
Yeah.
early on in the last episode in the preview. He's like, I'm not too big a fan of running things over, but if you got to run somebody over in the last lap, why not? Go for
That's
it.
what
Go
you
be
got to
it.
do. Yeah.
Yep.
You
that's
gotta
what
go
you
do
gotta
it. So yeah, no, but for real, Danny's just gonna keep riding the hot streak that he's been on. Like I said,
No.
each and every week we come to the racetrack, he's fast, he's leading laps. So yeah, we're gonna go get it done, get our 4th win of this season, and then we're gonna go to Darlington, another good Denny Hamlin track.
And you're gonna pick Denny again, and he's
Oh, you're damn right.
It's really easy to be a homer when your guy actually has a chance of winning.
Yeah,
it's like,
right.
we can't even fault you because it's a great pick, and he's probably gonna win.
I will say 2022 with the Xfinity Series, I picked Noah for probably 3/4 of the race, and it actually worked
dude,
out
that
for
was
me half
me.
the time.
That was me in 21. It just never happened.
Until it
Yeah.
until it did, right?
Yeah, until the
yeah.
championship race happened, I don't even think you picked him.
I don't even think I did either. I think I thought I was a curse or something. So I
Yeah,
didn't
well,
even pick him.
you did the superstitious not picking him.
Well,
Yeah.
Nick,
It
you're not
worked
a
out for
curse
me.
though. Just keep that
Oh,
mentality. Until the
Oh.
championship race, so.
You want to hear
All
about
right.
curses, buddy?
He is a Trevor and Daniel Hemrick fan. There's a lot of bad luck, right? There's a lot of curse right there.
His brain is cursed. His whole brain is cursed.
I mean, I'm a Suarez boy, so I thought last year the bad luck was over me every time I would take Daniel to win, but clearly, clearly Nick someone has put quite a hex over
Go
Nick.
back, go back a few years to the episode where I pulled out the Michael Waltrip Domino's car, and that's where the curse started for me. Just
Why would you do that?
no context, no details, no further details. Just
Yeah,
go
Nick
back,
doesn't
watch
want the curse coming back now. We
Watch-
don't need to
watch-
mention it.
Just go back,
All
watch the
right.
clip, and you'll see where I'm coming from.
All right, Ian, who are you picking for Kansas, and why is it not a Ford?
It is not a Ford because Ford has been stinkers lately. But Matt, I'm gonna go with your pick as well. I gotta go with that 23 car, Bubba Wallace. Got his second career win here with this beautiful car right here with Root Insurance. We talked about it, 2311, and their owner is just lights out here every single time we come to Kansas. So I'm looking for a Bubba win. He's had 2 bad races getting wrecked out, and I think it's time for him to get that first win of the year and join his teammate Tyler Reddick in the NASCAR playoffs. So really, really looking forward to this race this weekend, and hopefully Bubba Wallace will burn it down at the end of that 267 lap
Yeah,
mark.
I mean he could use this win too. He's sitting 15th in points, and just the freedom it would give him for the rest of the year to kind of settle in and just go to work and not really have to worry about being on the bubble. I think that's another good reason to get him into victory lane now. Yeah, that's a good one. And I hope you guys are hearing a lot of boos at the end of this race, because that means one of your boys won.
Yeah, right. Can't wait to hear it. But guys, that's a pretty good spot to end our show. Matt, thank you again for joining us for these past 2 shows, buddy. It's been great talking. We definitely got to have you on again soon, man.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, hey, if you make it out of Kansas alive, I mean, I'd be more than happy to come on next week. I mean, I mean, I can probably vouch for Ian making it out of there safely, but Nick, yeah, you're wearing a lot of fighting colors on that shirt to in front of fans who may not be appreciative of him. So
Nick almost had to protect me after Alex Bowman spun Hamlin at Martinsville. And
he was
Hamlin
more pissed off about it than I was.
Yeah.
Hey, and Denny's getting like 50-50 boos versus cheers.
Yeah,
So
they
Nick,
said
while
it
Nick
this
will have a
past
lot
week.
of people to fight off, he'll have a lot of people in his corner as well.
he'll have some people in his corner. He'll walk out of there alive, but I can't.
The
vouch.
Denny fandom is growing for sure.
It's
Oh,
growing,
yeah.
but I cannot vouch for how unscathed Nick will be walking out of Kansas Speedway. So.
That's just because they'll have one too many bush lights, but that's a whole different note.
But
He's gonna be like, I don't know where I got these.
Protect us.
I don't know where I got these Crocs, but they are awesome.
man, oh jeez. But anyways, in all seriousness, I wish you guys best of luck going to Kansas. You're going there with my boy Patrick Cotto. I hate you all for going there. You're leaving me behind. So, but not just I saying.
Hey man, these were our weather protection tickets.
These were your weather protection. Oh man.
Well then, we'll wish you clear skies and safe travels then.
Yeah.
for the
I
weekend.
hope so. So far, weather looks great.
Fantastic.
No, it looks
Awesome
bad
there.
now. It looks bad now. I checked it today. Now we got rain on Saturday and Sunday.
How far?
88.
Hold on. How far is the drive?
7 hours.
7 hours.
Maybe I'll wake up early on Monday morning and drive out there.
He'll do it to us again.
Just give me
Hey,
your
that
tickets.
just means we get
give me your
another free race.
Give me your ticket this time, so I don't have to buy one myself for half a race. All right, boyos.
All right, everybody.
All right,
Well,
boys.
thanks for tuning in, everybody, for the Stock Car Spectacle. I'm Ian Jortson,
I'm Nick Kinsel.
I'm Tom Oblin.
and we'll see you guys next time. Enjoy Kansas.